Hello folks, and welcome to another video. Yes, the old man has given in to temptation. He's accepted that he needs more Kodiak in his life. Why am I speaking about myself in the third person? I'm the only one here. Folks, welcome. This will be a first impressions style look at the aircraft on your screen. This is, of course, the Kodiak, the SimWorks Studios Kodiak 100 Wheels Edition for the Microsoft Sim. And yes, I have finally added it to my virtual hangar several months after it was released. I am late to the party. I often am, but I finally got there. The version that you're looking at on the screen is the Tundra Summit or something. There's a whole bunch of different configurations you get with the aircraft, folks. By the time this video hits the tube, there will be, I would say, hundreds of first impressions and detailed review videos featuring this aircraft. Some of those videos are of a very high quality. Some, not so much. And there's a whole lot of stuff in between. I don't know where mine sits in the overall scheme of things, folks. First impressions for me is kind of fairly limited. This is not going to be a review. I've flown this aircraft twice. I picked it up yesterday. Flew it twice. Once sort of raw. No, not in the nude. I mean, straight out of the box. I have flown in the nude, but you didn't need to know that. And it wasn't yesterday. It's a good thing I don't have a camera. The other time, I flew it with a mod. And I'll talk about that mod briefly. I preferred it with the mod. So I'm going to fly today with the mod. I don't want to get into an argument with the purists. There's been a little bit of contention around the mod. Or the author of the mod for this particular aircraft. I don't care about it. I care about having fun, enjoying myself. Should we go inside? We should. So this is the virtual cockpit. It'll be well known to everyone. I'm not going to labour the point, folks, other than to say my impression of this aircraft, my impression of the visuals is a very positive one. It's a nice place to be. This will have the G1000 NXI. Fantastic bit of kit. I say that every time I feature it in a video. The visual modelling is fantastic in this aircraft. It's a really nice nice place to be. Very sort of caravanish kind of thing. That's what it reminds me of. It's a little caravan. It's kind of how I look at it. What I love, I've actually got a view set up here. I love that we've got packs. We've got life. Yeah, they are alive. They're not just haven't recently come out of the taxidermist. They are moving, right? It's not just me. They're not Jude, admittedly. Now, if Jude would come to the party, if she would just admit that she needs to be with the old man, she'd be sitting right here. But I don't have her on board, folks. I do have 4 of my new friends, and yes, I've given them all a name. We'll go through that as the video continues. Now, let me just sort of go down the back here. This is a little bit awkward. There probably are custom views set up for these things, but just let me stroll down the back here, folks. So the magic of television. I'll sort of zoom out a little bit. Where am I? No, hang on. I'll get there, folks. Riveting stuff. Right. This is the cargo door. And the cargo spot? What's that called? What do you call it? The back of the aircraft. Just keep it simple, old fella. Yeah, no facilities in terms of a lav in an aircraft like this. I suppose you could probably put it in aftermarket, could you? If you were really keen. You know? But, yeah, there isn't one. I mean, you put a bucket. There's room for a couple of big buckets, if you like. Maybe a curtain over here. Folks, sorry. This is, first impressions with a different, folks. I just go off on my bloody stupid tangents. My nonsense. But, anyway, you can do stuff with the door. Can you do stuff? There you go. So one of the other features of this, you probably need to put the bottom one on first, dickhead. One of the nice features of this aircraft is that you can click stuff and stuff happens. Stuff's really well animated. That's one of the most impressive features as I look forward towards the deck. All right, it's cool. Let's jump back up front. Magic of television, beautiful. Yeah, so we're going to go for a fly. We begin our journey on an island and go outside. This island that we are currently situated on is called Palm Island. It's off the coast of Queensland, sort of north of Townsville. And we're going to head on a fairly short sort of hop up to another island off the coast of Queensland called Dunk Island. So Palm Island to Dunk Island in Queensland, folks. Journey time, not too long. About 50 or 60 miles, something like this. And this aircraft gets along at a fairly good clip. So yeah, I will go for a fly. I readily admit that I don't do aircraft reviews. I'm going to miss a whole lot of stuff. If you want a detailed look at this aircraft, there are literally hundreds of videos available on YouTube for you to look at. But if you're here at the channel, you're going to get my style of first impressions. I hope it's enjoyable. I hope it's informative. I'm going to get it started, and we're going to go flying. All right, let's get this thing powered up, eh? Get the master switch on. Get some avionics happening. The G1000 NXI, as I said, folks. I think we went with a direct route to Dunk. Yeah, we might kind of deviate off the magenta as we go up, but otherwise the flight plan is to go direct, 55 nautical miles. So one of the things I learned by watching countless videos is that this thing over here, the artificial horizon, the standby, chews up serious amounts of the old FPS, and that was my experience yesterday, although I'm running fixed FPS. So it was kind of holding the fixed FPS, but my graphics card was running hot. Hotter than Jude in the summertime, folks. So there's a couple of different fixes that I'm aware of. Let me come downstairs, not that one, down here a little bit. There's a couple of different fixes. The easiest one, actually this is not the easiest one. The easiest one is to download an alternative standby attitude. The other option is to pull the circuit breaker and it gets rid of it. Right, so jump back up here and it disappears, and it helps keep the graphics card to a sort of moderate temp. I was seeing some serious heat and some serious noise when that thing was running, even though it was kind of maintaining the frames. So that's that. There is also another mod, which I'm not running with today, which puts a placard here. I might link to it. I haven't actually activated it. That's helpful. Little placard here on your screen. What else do we need to do? Now, I'm probably going to skip steps, folks. I'm not following a checklist. I never really do. We've got a beacon coming on. We'll get this thing pressed in. We'll come upstairs here and get some fuel on, which is that way, that one, and that one. Another impressive feature of this aircraft, and it's difficult to actually represent this in a video because you kind of enjoy sound. It's quite subjective, I feel. But I do enjoy the sounds of this aircraft. Sound for me contributes significantly towards immersion, and we'll go to local Barrow as I'm rambling on. The sounds in this aircraft are fantastic. So it looks like we've got an outside air temperature of 25, and we're currently running, yeah, the aircon works as well. I like that. 26 inside, so it's a little warm. We'll get that sorted once we start the engine and stuff. What else do we need to do? We've got parking brake. So I've had some interesting challenges here I've had to reset my pedal profile. It was kind of weird. It was actually operating in an opposite direction to every other aircraft. So I've kind of reset that. What else are we doing? Rambling, that's what we're doing. I've got the standby pumpy on. So we might go low starter, low motor, and then we'll hit the ignition, I think. And I think we've got to wait for 14 up here, and we'll hit the ignition, which is that one. And we already got there. We can then introduce, go to low idle, which is back here, having to adjust it, which is about there. We'll let the engine spool up. Great sounds. We can move the prop forward and put the gen and the alternator on. The starter can come off. Ignition can come off. So far so good. I may have done that in the incorrect order, but it kind of got the job done. Put our navvies on, put our taxis on. We'll then introduce some coolness, and we'll get it down to about nice comfortable 22 degrees, and you hear that aircon kick in terms of sound. We can take the fuel pump off. Everything's pretty good. Are we in the green on stuff? I think so. We've got fuel flow. That's helpful. We're running half tanks. We've got our trims centered at the moment. We probably need to adjust that a little bit before takeoff. Trim's kind of important in this aircraft. We might put the instrument panel display brightness up. I find I need it a little bit brighter. What else? Kind of it. We've got local barrow set. We'll take the parking brake off and we'll head out onto a runway here. Probably runway 14, I think it is. I don't know what the wind is doing. We've got a windsock handy? Probably not. We could go outside. Yeah, those sounds so good. No windsock visible. Alright, we'll just depart runway 14. Even though there's a cross on the strip. So we'll get that parking brake off, which should be there. And we should be able to move, which we can. Alright, we'll sort of head out here. Take one stage of flap. There's brakes working this morning. They are. Get our view set again. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to go to the other end of the strip. Interesting that we've got a cross on the runway. I'm going to conveniently ignore that, because to do the right thing would mess this video up. We can't have that. I'm keeping in the tradition of my style of flying, folks. Although I occasionally pay attention to these things and try and follow some semblance of professionalism, or at least semi-professionalism. We're getting along alright here. We might have to hit the brakes. And those brakes seem quite ineffective, but it's probably got more to do with my equipment than anything else. We are taxiing along at a fair old clip, 30 knots. Righto. Come back on the brakes, there we go. So what is it, runway 32? Yeah, everything's crossed out. A sign that we really shouldn't be here, but we are. And we're going to make this thing happen. Try and keep it on the paved surface, mate. Alright, we'll line up runway 32, palm on. And we're going to kind of head straight out towards Dunk. So, local barrow set, we've got flap set, which is down here. Seriously noisy pedals. We do need a little bit of right trim in this aircraft. We do need a little bit of nose down trim as well. Nice trim sounds. That's enough. There's I'm not reading from the official guide here, folks. A little bit of nose down trim, a little bit of right rudder trim. That's what we're doing. Flaps are set. We're going to call trim set. Our transponder. We're going to go to altitude. We're going to go heading bug aligned, and we're all good, I think. All right. So let's do this thing. Takeoff. Introduce some juice. Oh, sounds so good, hey? we'll call that power set. 40 knots. Very light breeze. There's 60, 65. We can kind of rotate. A little bit of right boot as we take off. And away we go. So without the mod, it behaves a little bit differently. Like I said, I prefer it with the mod, and that's what I'm going to run with. I believe there's an update pending to this aircraft, and I look forward to installing that, and I'll take the mod off and see how she flies. You know, flaps coming up, great sound on the flaps as well. About 100 odd knots is sort of best rate. We're not too picky about best rate. Come back on the juice just a tad, basically heading straight out over all these islands. I do know that I have a viewer who spent a lot of time in this part of the world. He often reminds me of that. That's not a criticism, mate. Every time I hear from you, my mind goes to a place where I'd rather be you, or I rather would have been you when you were sailing around this part of the world. I think that must be an absolutely incredible thing to do. Very fortunate, mate. And thanks for joining me and contributing to this the fun and games we have here on the channel. I do appreciate it. All recent subscribers, welcome aboard. Hope that you enjoy your time here on the channel. Your support is very much appreciated. So what we might do is get some autopilot-y stuff happening. We'll go heading sync and maybe into a little bit of heading hold. In fact, we can go nav hold at this point. We're on the magenta. There we go, 135 knots. Climbing out at 850 feet a minute. We can climb a lot much better than that, of course. Yeah, Dunk Island sort of in the distance there, folks. We've got Queensland, the coast of Queensland, beautiful part of the world. Beautiful part of the world, and enhanced quite a bit through the recent world update number 7. Take a view outside and let you listen to those sounds rather than my voice. Beautiful morning here in Queensland, at least in this part of Queensland. Bloody big state, folks, but full of the best people in the country. Hey? There we go. Nice visuals on the outside as well. Like it's just an impressive package overall. There's just no doubt about that. Plenty of liveries available, custom liveries, as well as the liveries that come with all the different variants. And we, of course, those of us that enjoy the aircraft, and I now count myself as one of those people, we look forward to the float edition, which should be forthcoming relatively soon. There we are. Folks, I'll get us to a suitable cruise altitude. I just realised I didn't plug one in. That's nice, eh? Altitude selects it down here. Probably 4,500 would have been it. Now, of course, that's going to screw up my vertical speed. 600-700 feet a minute. So 4,500 would be a VFR cruise altitude on this heading. It's a beautiful day. I don't know that we'll get to 4.5. Maybe 2.5 would have been a little bit better. Bugger it. 4.5 it is, folks. I'll get us into the cruise and we'll talk about the mod, what it does, and yeah, I'll rejoin you then. So we're settled nicely into the cruise here at 4,500. We're kind of maintaining VFR, kind of, in and out of cloud, but don't tell anyone. The passengers are, they're none the wiser. Their drugs allow them to sort of zone some of that stuff out. You know, keep them quiet. Hey? So this is Toby, folks. He is when he flies with me anyway. Toby. The other bloke is Chris. That looks like a Chris to me. He's got his, what looks like a denim-ish sort of jacket. He's got his cap on. Yeah, he's enjoying the back of Laura's head. So Toby, Laura, Chris, and Isabelle with the glasses. The fabulous foursome. Folks, yeah, settled nicely in the cruise. We're tazzing at just under 160 knots. Everything's going really well. Loving the flight. Shall we have a quick look at what the mod for this aircraft does? I'm glad you asked. Let's do that. Right, so here's the mod. This is Captain Mustache's definitely wrong Kodiak flight model mod. Yeah, he's a bit of a character, this Captain Mustache. I featured his mod. Actually, I've got a few of them, but there was a video that I did on the King Air 350. He's done a mod for that aircraft, which makes that aircraft flyable and quite enjoyable. So I don't think he's got real world Kodiak time, right? But this is kind of his pitch. With this in mind, I've taken my extensive real-life aviation knowledge and experience and put it to work tuning or turning this into something far more believable and, in my opinion, enjoyable. Now, I would agree with that point. As I said, did 2 flights yesterday, raw and with the mod. I preferred flying it with the mod. Does it make it easier to fly? I think so. Does it potentially make it too easy to fly? Maybe. But it makes it more enjoyable, folks, and that's a big thing for me. And that's what I try and get through on my videos. I'm just here to have fun. That's what I'm here for. So, what I've done, or what he's done, is a whole lot of stuff. Alright? Greatly reduced the P factor and updated numbers and updated induced and parasitic drag and updated elevator response and all sorts of stuff, folks. That's it there. I'll link to this. It's at theflightsim.to. I'll link to it in the description. If you're not aware of it, check it out. Give it a go. What do you got to lose? I'm not selling it. I'm not getting any commission from the bloke, right? But give it a go. You don't like it, you take it out of your community folder or you disable it. It's that simple. But for me, I found it did improve the enjoyment of the experience. It is a great aircraft out of the box. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, Captain Mustache's definitely wrong Kodiak flight model mod, folks. There'll be a link to it in the description. I'll see you for the approach into Dunk Island. Alright, so 13 miles to Dunk, 4,500. Might be time to start a descent, Georgie, I think. Yeah, to 1500, plug you in, mate. Get some vertical speed happening now. Coming down, thanks, mate. 1500. Do us. So the field at Dunk is on the western side of the island. We've got a southeasterly blowing, so that would suit a right hand circuit to whatever runway this is, heading towards a sort of south or southeast. As usual, I've done my homework, folks. Got no idea what the runway orientation is, other than it's kind of in the somewhere between 0 degrees and 200 degrees. I think something like that. Oh, there's Dunk right there, folks. Beautiful day, beautiful part of the world. So heading, we might go heading sync and into the heading mode, and we'll sort of give ourselves a right circuit onto whatever that runway is. I think it's a grass strip here at Dunk, I would guess. I wonder what the current status of Dunk Island is. There used to be a resort up here. Is it one of the resorts that sort of got bashed in a cyclone or two? I'm sure that my subscriber who's called this place his backyard for many years will probably be able to tell me. So I look forward to hearing from you, mate. So look, this is a first impressions video. This is the third time I've flown it. My first impressions are overwhelmingly positive. I can't find anything to pick on. Not that I'm really looking for it. It's a great aircraft, one of the best aircraft that we have in this sim at the moment. Really enjoyable and very useful sort of aircraft. It is a true bush bird. Can carry plenty of packs, plenty of weight, plenty of cargo. If you're into the economic simulation-y stuff like FS Economy and NeoFly and all those others, I'm sure this could be a reasonable money maker for you. I used to own a Kodiak in FS Economy, but that's when I was flying it in X-Plane. And the X-Plane version, which I have featured in a video towards the start of this year, feels like a really long time ago, but it wasn't. That version, the Thrander Kodiak over there in X-Plane, is pretty good as well. So that would be a strip here in Dunk Island, and it looks like a paved surface. There you go. So throw out everything I said before, folks. It's a short strip though, by the looks of it. Can I do some flying, Georgie? Thanks, mate. I will. Thank you, sir. So there we go. Back into this view. Get ourselves sorted out. Autopilot is off. Dunk Island, here we come. What else is new in the world of simming, folks? I suppose I don't know if it's the biggest news. Well, it would be in terms of the overall sim. Sim update number 8 has entered beta. That's kind of a big deal. It's supposed to fix a whole lot of stuff. We always look forward to fixes. In terms of aircraft news, we've got I think the PMDG 737 has entered beta as well, and I read this morning that there's the MD-11 on its way. I didn't even know that was going to happen. From TFDI. Which view do I want down there? I'll take a side view. There we go. Right hand circuit onto whatever this runway is going to be. Probably a sort of a 1/8 orientation by the looks of it. Let's continue our descent. We'll just reduce that rate a little bit though. There's the strip. Nice short strip for us. There's the resort next to the field, I'm guessing. Such a beautiful day here. Oh, gorgeous. We might take a stage of flap. That'll help us to slow down. Might have to introduce a little bit of juice though. Kind of want to hold about 1,000 feet. And then we'll begin the turn. There we go, a little bit of rudder work required, a lot of rudder work required. We'll take second stage here on base. And what's your approach speed in this thing? About 80 or something, or 70? You can get it pretty slow, can't you? We'll just continue that turn. There's a lot of footwork, this aircraft. There we go. There's the resort. There's a strip here somewhere. There it is. The traditional oblique final, featured on my channel in just about every video, and through 90. We'll take full flap now. You can get this thing right real slow. Might have to introduce a little bit of juice. A little bit of re-trimming work. Yeah, not too slow here, down almost 70 knots. Short strip. There we go. Dunk Island, folks. Runway 1. Oh, I said 1/8. It's not 1/8 at all. It's like 1/4. Close enough. Wouldn't want to get any slower. Have to drop it in here though. There we go. Alright, we'll take the power out. Hold him off a bit. Oh. Was it quite a firm arrival, wasn't it? It wasn't much of a flare. And we'll come into beta. Not that we're going to need it. Just to get it. Just to hear it, really. Come out of beta. I'm going to pull us up on the runway, folks. Parking brake set. That'll do us. We have arrived. Not the sweetest of touchdowns, but it got the job done. Only my third flight. Folks, first impressions of the SimWorks Studios Kodiak, overwhelmingly positive. Great aircraft. Thanks again for your company, and bye for now.